Greetings, y'all. Welcome to the launch of this new podcast. The mission of this podcast is to develop content to help folks who are losing their vision or maybe have lost a lot of vision so far. So we're going to go through a lot of information. You might want to grab a cup of coffee right now or some other favorite beverage, because this is going to be a few minutes, and this will set the foundation for a long series of educational content that will develop to help people in their vision loss and working to help with their activities of daily living. Oh, yeah, by the way, I should take this off. This is a device that actually I got to use this morning. This is called a Patriot Viewpoint, and we'll go through this later on the details about this. But that device enabled me, while I was having a devotion this morning and prayer, and also getting to sit on the front porch and watching the hummingbirds in my wife's little butterfly and bird feeding area. So the hummers were bombarding her little feeders out there, and that's for me, this is 50-60 feet away from the feeders. Without this device, I'm not able to see that at all, so it's quite a miraculous unit. So the first thing I'd like to say is that I'm a repentant and baptized child of God. Faith is very important to me, and we'll be touching on that during the course of these, because I went through a lot of anger early on with my vision loss, but realized at a point in my life that it was actually a gift that I was able to find the purpose in that and to help others, which is the point of this, is that I have a very broad and deep knowledge and experience in working with people with vision loss. So that's a little background on myself. I am legally blind. I'm legally blind from Stargardt's, which is a juvenile onset macular dystrophy, and we'll go into part of what I'll bring educationally wise is what is blindness, what is legal blind, what is visual impairment, what is low vision, what causes these things. So, and I also I'm 70 years old. I'll tell you why this actually got cranked up here a couple of weeks ago. But I'm also, so I can give you stories over a 60-year period. I can think back to second, third grade on episodes and my vision problem then, and then throughout my entire life. So, and also I have a master's degree in teaching blind rehab from Western Michigan University decades ago, the premier university in that training program. And also had two undergraduate degrees, but that was in different areas. But and also in my career, 20 years working at the VA, the Veterans Healthcare Administration. I was classified as a Series 601, which is a blind rehab specialist. I taught blind rehab directly to veterans for several years up in West Haven, Connecticut. And then the remaining 20 years, I moved through a number of VAs as a visual impairment services coordinator. That was an incredible privilege to work with blind vets over all those years, and could easily say that I've had engagement with the better part of 3,000 veterans over that period of time with different kind of vision loss, the cause of those losses, whether they were service connected from a war trauma all the way to elderly with macular degeneration or other disease processes. So that's going to be things that we'll go through in future episodes. And but today I want to lay out in general what this channel is going to be. So one thing you can rest assured that this is even though it's made for mom and pop, it'll be family friendly. There'll never be any swearing or lewd information on this channel. Although we'll talk about some tough stuff about vision loss and how it affects everybody. And that's one of the things I wanted to share, is that vision loss, and among other disease processes, but vision loss doesn't happen in a silo. It just doesn't happen to a person, and it's exclusive to everything else around. It affects every aspect of their life. It impacts every person around them as well, loved ones, family members, what have you, and then community at large. We're going to go, well, those are things that we'll get into as well. So besides the professional background and the educational background that I have, I also worked in a nonprofit organization as a program director, and also at a college. Actually worked at Western Michigan coming out of graduate school, and getting to work in a vocational skills center, working directly with folks that were visually impaired, but then also working with the instructors and teaching them how to work with the blind students that were in these different vocational groups. So, and that brings me to the vocational aspect of this. So how this idea dawned on me, and not that long ago, 2-3 weeks actually. I was kind of buzzing through YouTube channels about the side hustle. I left the VA several years ago, and it was an unpleasant separation and premature. So seems like I've come out of a couple of years of wilderness, and I believe that God's answered prayer on directing me on how I could use my skills again. And so as I came across this need for teachers that teach English as a second language, I thought that would be kind of interesting and helpful. That'd be a purpose to be able to learn a bunch of new skills. Because I can assure you, besides turning my iPhone on and flicking through some YouTube channels, it's been pretty rudimentary. I've actually kind of resisted AI and all this stuff. But I came across this idea, and as I started looking into this certification process for this, and being 70 years old, it's like, okay, here's the next step in my life. How am I going to put this together? That's when it dawned on me that I could use this pretty simple, this rudimentary amount of technology to actually make a YouTube channel that I could deliver very important information. Even though the field of blindness may be a narrow niche, there is a vast amount of information in between the parameters of that, but also the depth of that is significant. And so so I started putting this together, and basically with a tripod and the iPhone here, then we're ready to go. And it's pretty amazing, actually. So I've applied for voc rehab in the state of Iowa here, and as a just to give you an idea, I grew up in Michigan. Voc rehab, that the impact there was life altering. Then I was in Alabama, Indiana, Connecticut, Georgia, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and now in Iowa. And each, except for Alabama, because I was being served by Michigan Commission for the Blind, I have applied and been a client in each one of those states. So that in and of itself is a tremendous amount of information that I could share with people. And frankly, realizing that just because being older doesn't mean that you're out of the picture. That, just totally on contraire, that people are out there with vast knowledges in all kind of different areas, and but also the aspects of applying into voc rehab and how to do that and so forth. So yeah, that'll be things that we'll touch on, and also track my steps seeking assistance here with this process for teaching English as a second language. Just as a side note, when I came across the knowledge that 2.5 billion people in the world speak English, and right now there's 20 to 22,000 positions needed to be filled for teachers of English as a second language worldwide. So this is something that I've looked into, can actually develop a online business to do this either around the state, US, or globally. So food for thought. Anyway, as we go through this, then there'll be, I'm going to share the statistics, US, Canada, globally, on vision loss, what causes vision loss. We'll go through the different types of diseases and what causes that, their progressions. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an optometrist, and I'm not an optician, but with all those years, particularly the 20 years in the VA, I was worked very closely with the eye clinic and dozens and dozens of doctors, ophthalmologists, optometrists as well, but ophthalmologists. And so there's, I carry a lot of knowledge with that, and but also be doing my research to make sure that updated information you're given, and also resource materials for you so that you can do your own homework. Always check, and don't take it for granted that somebody's giving you the real McCoy, that you need to check and look things up for yourself and verify, trust and verify, but developing that trust will take a while. So hopefully, as I share this information and bring ongoing episodes that will develop. So eye diseases also. Matter of fact, last night I was looking up copyable eye charts, because there's a number of different eye charts that are used, why each one is used, what devices are used to measure near acuity, distance acuity, what all that means, how that is used to classify vision loss, and then how is that basically used, say, for Social Security for legal blindness, or what happens, what's going to impede getting a driver's license. So those are information that I'll bring in subsequent programs. And also the visual machines that measure your visual field when you're looking in a circle, and how your eye moves back and forth or up and down, whether there's eye diseases that impede those peripheries, and we'll see how that affects somebody's vision as well. And ultimately how all this information is going to impact you and what you may need to learn, and how to develop, open up the tools, but the strategies, the devices, the technology, and then what resources are going to help. Because literally, you could take 10 people lined up, and depending on their age, what vision loss they have, what other physical, maybe comorbidities that they have, whether diabetes, kidney failure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, what have you, that again, not only is the vision loss not in a silo in the big picture, but there could be other medical situations that need to be, that may complicate that and be addressed as well. And just trying to think of other, well, we can stop right now, maybe. And just a couple more things. We'll be going through some recreational kind of activities, so community development, but I used to participate in the Iowa City golf tournament here at the VA. Now it's a national program. I used to volunteer at the Winter Sports Clinic in Crested Butte, and that's now moved. I was a volunteer there for a number of years. I participated in the Ski for Light in South Dakota, and so there's a lot of organized activities for the blind and visually impaired that we'll get to explore as well. I have a lot of thoughts beyond just me sitting here bloviating about all this stuff, but a lot of good other things that we can do. And this, my last comment is that this podcast, or this, not podcast, but this channel isn't designed to compete, but it's designed to be part of the bigger community, and that it may help bring people in, and then share all the resources and great other YouTube channels out there, or other videoed things with Voc Rehab or the VA or what have you. So that's my intention, is to develop a lot of exposure on this and help build this bigger community. So with that said, I'm going to grab, oh, and the other thing I was going to tell you is that not only is this a great low vision device, but for seeing distances, but it also enables me to read print material, which I'll demonstrate in a future episode. But for now, now that I got to see the Hummers this morning, I'm going to go out and watch the Eagles and the Red-tailed Hawks. See you in the next one.